What's going on, bros and girls? Today I'll be doing an unboxing and overview of this recently released ASUS MeMO Pad Smart. This is the 10.1 version, and I got because in my opinion this is probably one of the best bang for the buck tablets you can get for this size, outside of going of course for a non-branded generic Chinese tablet, but those have no support and you're basically SOL if something goes wrong. I will be doing a full review of this tablet though in about a week or two to truly see how well it performs and if it does indeed offer a good value. Specs wise, the MeMO Pad has the hardware to do just about everything a tablet costing $200 more can. It features a Tegra 3 T33 chipset running a 1.2 GHz quad plus 1 core CPU, 1 GB of RAM, and runs at a resolution of 1280 by 800. That resolution isn't much compared to say the Nexus 10 or the iPad 4, but again those are flagship devices costing much more, and the MeMO Pad is geared towards value at a much cheaper price. And speaking of price, for current pricing and availability, I've included some links for you down below. Packaging wise, ASUS keeps it simple for the MeMO. There's no glossy photos or anything, but maybe more importantly is that they use EcoBox, which is very environmentally friendly using 100% recyclable cardboard. Underneath that you have a slogan, inspiring innovation, persistent perfection. And below that is some MeMO Pad and ASUS branding. This side shows what color you have. I chose the crystal white version, but it also comes in masculine pink as well as midnight blue. The top side has more of the same, and this last side has some basic info on ASUS and how to contact them. And finally, on the bottom you have your SKUs and UPCs, some more EcoBox stuff, and along the bottom you have a tape seal that is ASUS labeled, so you know if your tablet has been pre-opened or not. So on to the unboxing. Obviously you just have to penetrate the tape seal to get into it and de-virginize the box, and I will warn you though that once you do this your box will forever be a lot looser. So anyways, once you do that you just peel open the flaps and flip it over and lift the top. So the first thing you see is the tablet itself. It's covered in a protective plastic to prevent some damage and scratches during shipping, and we'll get back to this in a moment, but like always we'll finish off with taking a look at the accessories first. Underneath the MeMO Pad, you don't have much. We have the literature on the right, including a warranty card. The warranty is 1 year for parts and labor, and the second piece of documentation is your user manual, which takes you through a brief tour of the product, including some safety info, as well as how to get your tablet up and running. On the left side is your power brick. Mine's obviously is the North American type, and it's about an average size. On the back you see the slot where this USB cord plugs in, with a micro USB on the other end where you plug into the tablet. So back to the tablet, we'll first start off with the sweet sounds of plastic removal. And now that that's out of the way, we got the MeMO Pad in its full naked glory. We'll start with the back since rear ends are my favorite part, and you can see it's in a very attractive bright white finish. It has a minimalistic, no-nonsense design to the back, and there's no unnecessary seams or anything like that. You have well-positioned stereo speakers on both sides, and on the top you have your 5 megapixel rear-facing camera. Above the camera to the right is the power and lock switch. On the side is the microphone, the micro USB port, and underneath that is a very welcome micro HDMI port for external displays, and a micro SD card slot. You saw the reset hole under that, and on the other side is your 3.5mm headphone jack as well as your volume rocker. The bottom is free of any ports or switches, and the front looks pretty much like most tablets these days. The first thing to note is that the 10.1-inch display uses IPS technology, so the viewing angle should be really good. On the top bezel you have the 1.2 megapixel front camera, and beside that it's pretty much impossible to see, but around this area is your ambient light sensor. On this side I'll scroll down and you can pause the video and read it for yourself if you'd like, but this sticker shows the main features of the tablet, and a few things I do want to make note of is that it has up to 8.5 hours of battery life, and the IPS panel has a 170-degree viewing angle, and it's pretty thin at 9.5 millimeters and weighs in at a decently light 580 grams. And you may have noticed the bezels aren't super thin or anything fancy, but I actually prefer these size edges because it gives me a good area to grip without interfering with the touchscreen. So here's just a first boot of the tablet, and while we're waiting on that, apparently in reflective surfaces, I like to check out my sweaty from the gym dirty long hair. This guy needs an extreme haircut. So it was a fairly quick first boot up. It took just under 30 seconds to get to this screen, and I'll set this boring stuff up off camera and we'll get to the home screen. So it's all set up now, and before we go I just want to show you how good the viewing angles are for this tablet. You can lean it fairly far off to the side and still be able to see the display with no change or shift in colors. And upon quick initial feel, just by scrolling it, it does feel really responsive and snappy, and the touch input seems very accurate so far. And bring up the apps, the animations are extremely smooth and lag-free. I think a good reason for this is because the tablet uses Jelly Bean's Project Butter, which greatly improves the smoothness. And lastly, even with YouTube, you can see it brings up the thumbnails very fast, and scrolling through all these thumb images is nos problemos. So I hope you guys all enjoyed my unboxing and overview of the ASUS MeMO Pad Smart 10. And keep an eye out for my full review where I will be going into much greater detail and stating both the pros and the cons of this tablet. And if you did enjoy this vid, please thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And follow me on Twitter, it would be much appreciated. Until next time, YouTube, peace!